And this summer, I will be going to Beijing to open some pork markets.
You're doing what?
And this summer, I'll be going to Beijing and I'll be experiencing pork markets.
Who said that?
The UK imports millions of pounds worth of cheese. We should be making our own. It's not good enough.
Okay, so who is this person you're channeling? Bearing in mind, I don't listen to TV or watch news videos or websites or anything else. Who is?
I'll give you some clues. You might not do her even with a brown paper bag.
What?
But she is very powerful.
And she's in the Liz Truss.
Yes. Have you not heard that speech she gave?
I pay no attention to popular culture or politics or anything else like that. I probably should. We mentioned this before. I should probably get a subscription to The Week because I should. I mean, there are some world events I suppose I should be paying attention to, but most can go fuck themselves with a rusty rusty dick.
She gave a rather emphatic speech about how she was visiting or opening some pork markets in, I don't know, Beijing or Vietnam or somewhere. I can't remember the exact detail. Yeah. And you know when someone's giving a speech, John, and they've written that speech and they think they've written something really brilliant. So they're like, right, I've written this down. This is fucking amazing. I'm going to get on stage and I'm going to say it and everyone's going to fucking love it and it's going to be fucking amazing. Oh my God, I can't wait to say this. So in the script, they also write pause for clap.
Oh, right.
She says it and she pauses and this awful chested cat grin peels across her face.
And there's definitely
she's beaming. It's deathly silent and she starts nodding her head. Like this.
Oh.
And then eventually there's a couple of claps and she goes,
that kind of thing is what the phrase buttock clenching embarrassment was made for.
Oh God, yeah, it's terrible. It's god awful, but she'll save us all, just like every prime minister before her has.
Well, you know what amazes me about all this? I mean, anyone who knows me knows I'm a libertarian. If anyone who doesn't know what a libertarian is, just fucking Google it. I mean, I can't be bothered to describe it now. I'm certainly not going to justify it to people because I'm a libertarian. I don't have to. But what gets me is I've noticed this more and more recently, and I expected to as well. I don't spend any appreciable time on social media. And if I do, it's LinkedIn only to go in and either check my messages, maybe one or two comments more recently, and live posts as opposed to through the scheduler. And also to attend to some messages, because I've been getting quite a bit of traction recently from people tagging me and stuff. We're starting to get more of a snowball effect.
Anyway, that, John.
Yeah, it's quite good, and it is good. It's slow but steady. And I should actually, a bit of a digression here. I should have expected this, because me building my whole business has taken more time than probably most people, because I refuse to pander to the popular vote. And to prove your integrity takes time. I mean, I was talking to Phil T about this, one of my clients, mentoring guy. And I said to him, you'd only get a reputation for integrity and consistency and being the wise elder statesman when you've done it for several years. There's no shortcut, and you can destroy it in a second. And I said, because he wasn't pissing and moaning, but he's good-naturedly mentioning the fact that he can't be in my position yet. Well, you can't. I mean, you can be better than me and you can be richer and more successful, but to have my gravitas is just going to take time. It just is. I mean, you can't mature a good wine over a cheese overnight, can you? So anyway, I've noticed we're getting more traction now as people are actually saying you need to listen to John McCulloch. John McCulloch's my mentor. He's fucking brilliant. And it's taken 3-4 years on LinkedIn. Not particularly diligent study of mine or work, to be fair. But anyway, that's just a long-winded way of saying why I have been on LinkedIn recently. But I'm saying that because it's important for integrity. I don't do social media. I don't engage in engagement, basically. Anyway, so what I have noticed is now we've got this so-called energy crisis, and people are starting to realise that the war in Ukraine has actually lasted more than a week and has had some severe fucking consequences for grain production, grain transport, energy, and the rest of it. And people I've got this strange cognitive dissonance going on that they seem perfectly comfortable with. One is the government have really fucked all this up. They're shit. They're useless. They couldn't fucking fart their way out of a wet paper bag, etc., etc. And then in the next breath they're saying, oh, but the government should do something. Well, make your fucking mind up. You're asking people you are saying are incompetent to do something to fix what is essentially your problem. I mean, how stupid is that? And then, icing on the cake, tip of the cock, dribble before the fucking main event, right? What they're saying is, Liz Truss and others are incompetent and not fit to run the country. And here's my opinion. Most of these people can't even run a fucking successful small business, let alone a fucking country. Honestly, the world is fucking bonkers. And sometimes I sit on my little farm here, not speaking to people day after day, and I'm thinking, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem here. Maybe I am the stupid one. And then I read things like that and I think, no, it's not me. It really isn't me. It is you. Fucking unbelievable, man. Anyway.
I don't know why people care so much. It's just another dickhead in a suit who's going to do fuck all. And it doesn't matter if it was her or Rishi Sunak. And
not really.
Ultimately, the government doesn't have to do anything. And ultimately, nothing will really change. And ultimately, yeah, you're still going to pay your fucking energy bills. This whole malarkey of a nationwide strike of energy bills is just
there won't be a strike of
ridiculous.
Energy bills.
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, what's probably more likely, and many of the listeners to this, possibly most, will be too young to remember this, the 3-day week in the 70s and power cuts because the economy was just so fucking shit. Well, we're likely to get, well, it's not unlikely, not impossible for sure, we're going to get that in Ireland, power cuts and things. We'll just deal with it, same as deal with them. I might buy a little generator or something, I don't know. I'm not too concerned. But
it might be quite nice, a little change of pace.
Well, 3 years ago now, in the October, we had some pretty severe storms and the power was out for about 4 days. Nothing I could do. So I basically said to people, well, my elite's no calls. I don't have internet. It's very sporadic. I can charge the phone in the car and things, but I can't charge the laptop in the car because the drain on the USB isn't powerful enough, and no internet anyway, other than 4G through my phone. So basically, I'm off until the power's out. And I cooked every night on the stove in the living room, the wood burning stove. We went down to the camping shop and got a couple of gas burners and some head torches. And then when it got dark at 5:30, 6 o'clock, that was it for the night. It was dark. And we went to bed and just sat in bed reading. I mean, I got a Kindle, what's its name? Paperwhite. So I could read all right. I could charge that in the car. It was great. You just get on with shit, don't you? Right.
You could have read without a Kindle.
Hey?
You could have read without the Kindle.
I could have done, yeah, but I have a Kindle, so I was all right anyway. Sarah had a head torch for her book. But it was just, you just get on with shit.
For a book. Oh, I get it. Yeah, you do. You just, we're very good at adapting and surviving and getting over shit and moving on very quickly. If you ask people to recall some really big scoundrels that they were livid at the time and have subsequently got over, I think they'd even struggle to recall how angry they got over the shit that doesn't really matter. However, stuff like this happens all the fucking time. Yeah, give it a year. Yeah, if it's all sorted out by then, they'll probably say, well done, government, you got us out of trouble. Yeah.
Well, the thing about governments, and this is fundamentally why I'm a libertarian, right? people seem to think governments, and the governments will say this, and people believe them. Politicians, not government, politicians will say, "I'm doing this for you. I'm serving you." No, you're not. There was actually a court case in the UK some years ago when somebody tried to sue the government, quite rightly, in my opinion, because they made their manifesto pledges and then just said, "I'm not going to do that." And this person who sued the government lost, and the judge basically found political parties are not obliged to fulfil their manifesto promises. What does that tell you about the whole system? Yeah? We can promise to do this to get elected and then just decide not to do it, and there's fuck all you can do about it except not re-elect us. Well, here's the thing about governments, right, and politicians. Politicians have got a conflict of interest. They are not there to do a good job of running the government country or a good job of or to please the population or anything else. They are there to get re-elected. That's what they do. That's all they care about. They care about lining their own pockets and getting re-elected. Do you remember the scandal of the expenses some years ago? It just went away.
Yeah.
And, government, they're just scum. They're filth. They really are. They're fucking dregs of humanity politicians. Hey?
It still happens now every now and again. I saw something the other day.
It does. Nothing changes.
It was.
Why would it?
It was 60 grand on an expense account, and one of those things was a toilet for the house.
Probably.
Just a toilet.
Look, the thing is, the governments, they set the rules, they decide the consequences, and they set the rules to benefit themselves. And when they get caught, it's themselves investigating themselves. Nothing ever happens, really. Nothing ever changes. Sometimes people lose their jobs, but then they come back a couple of years later. Nothing changes.
Mm-hmm.
They are filth. They are scum. They are the fucking lowest of humanity, politicians. I despise them. They're barely above the police, in my opinion. And the police are probably, I don't know who's worse, actually. I don't have a lot of time for the police in the main either. I'm sure they're decent individuals, but as an institution, they're corrupt. Only when a copper actually murders someone and gets caught red-handed, like that guy murdering that woman in the woods a couple of years ago. Only when it's absolutely impossible for them to ignore it do they actually do something about it.
They've got a real
they're just filth
with that.
They really are filth. The lowest of humanity. We should have concentration.
Another thing I want to say.
The politicians, I'm telling you. They're fucking vile creatures. Oh, we're in it for you. And it's all about serving the public. Fuck off. Fucking scum.
That's why they're called the lizard people, aren't they? The lizard people.
David Icke is literally incorrect, but metaphorically he's spot on.
David Icke is a fucking funny cunt. If anyone doesn't know who he is, you'll have a great time listening to him.
David Icke is so fucking mad, he's funny.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. And that Alex Jones geezer as well. He fucking cracks me up. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know Alex Jones. Joneses. Infowars.
The water's turning. Yeah. The water's turning. The frog's gay. We have never seen this level of homosexual intercourse in between frogs before in our lives.
Going back to LinkedIn, I saw a thread came up in my feed as I traversed the net, the site to get to the advertising bit. It was. I'm not making this up. This is actual people on LinkedIn, so you'd think these are somewhat educated adults. It was a thread which had basically deteriorated into the government is covering up UFOs. I mean, fuck.
Oh, wow.
The government, they can't organise a party without getting caught. Boris Johnson, etc., etc. They can't organise an illegal fucking drinks party without getting caught. So how the hell can they fucking hide UFOs? Because what these conspiracy theorists don't understand, and this applies to all conspiracies, by the way, vaccines, COVID, fucking lizard people, it would only take one person out of what must be hundreds of thousands, if not millions. It would take one single person to break ranks with evidence they must have, and the whole thing would become public knowledge. And don't get us wrong, let's be clear about this. We've had whistleblowers, Ed Snowden, other people. I can't remember his bloody name now. Julian Lasagna, whatever his name is. We've had whistleblowers, and then they do reveal some pretty shocking stuff about black ops and black sites and rendition, all the rest of it. But there's nothing about UFOs and lizard people there, or COVID and vaccines, and all that fucking mind control chips and turning you into a fucking fridge magnet stuff. There's nothing there. You know why? Because it doesn't exist. It's not real.
Yeah,
but people still believe this shit. I know why they believe it. You know why people believe conspiracies? Because it takes away responsibility for their failures in life. Oh, it isn't me. It's the lizard people living on a boat who are doing this to me. The elites. So when you see people like the elites, so for fuck's sake, grow up.
That's interesting, because the way people are behaving, especially with the energy crisis, and we're talking specifically about business owners here, because we're business people. We're not fucking life coaches or money-saving experts, a la Martin Lewis, whatever his name is. People behave that they have a right to continue running their business, that they should be protected from any variance or change in the economy or buying behaviours. Things such as, they've got to do something about Amazon. That's being said for years, especially with the death of the high street. And we're seeing it more and more now. The government has got to do something, or I have to shut my business. No, bitch. You have to do something with your business to keep it fucking open. There's going to be a lot of businesses that shut down. I can't imagine fucking even takeaways are going to survive with their energy costs. Yeah,
it's
but you just feel like you have this God-given right to just survive.
You've not, no, absolutely. And there aren't huge. Well, there are huge numbers, but it's a small percentage of the number of total businesses out there. But I could list you loads of businesses which thrive, even in the face of direct competition from places like Amazon. And they thrive because they actually think and do something. There's an entire village or town in Scotland devoted to books and book festivals. Amazon can't touch them because they can provide something Amazon just cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if your idea of competing with anyone at all, whether it's Amazon or any of your competitors, is, well, who can do it for the lowest price? Yeah, you're going to lose, because there's always going to be someone willing to work for less than you. That's as simple as that. Someone willing to lose more, someone with bigger pockets, someone with bigger sponsors, someone with a bigger business who can cross-subsidize their retail side with their infrastructure side, like Amazon do. There's always going to be someone with more money than you. Now, if you want to try and compete on prices with $1 trillion business, then have at it. I'll be the last person on earth to stop you. But by God, I'm going to laugh at you. So you have to get clever.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have a fucking right. Do not expect the government to come and save you. If you are a freelancer listening to this and you work from home and you're worried about your energy prices, that is a cost of running your business because you live at home. Therefore, you need to make business decisions to ensure your business can keep running. Yeah? We've got it so cushy. We've got it so fucking comfortable that everything that people are scared of investing in advertising now. Everyone just does organic marketing. And I'm speaking mainly about freelancers. Everything's just organic marketing. They work from home. Everything they make is pure cheddar. It's pure profit. Well, now's the time to invest some of that cheddar. Start acting like a real business. You have costs. Your costs are going up. So what do businesses do when costs go up? They raise their prices. They sell more shit. They sell to better customers.
They have to. They don't. They can refuse to if they want to, but they'll pay the price. So see what I did there. They will suffer the consequences. And life is all about choices and consequences. Even getting out of bed in the morning instead of lying there and starving to death is a choice we make every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I know sometimes the choices you have aren't particularly attractive. You've got a bad choice and a really bad choice. Say you're in an alleyway and someone holds you up at knife point, says, "Give us your wallet or I'm going to stab you." You've still got the choice of not doing it. You've got the choice of giving your wallet over. You've got the choice of just saying no and see what happens. You've got the choice of actually fighting back. They're not necessarily all good choices, but you still have those choices. And whichever one you decide, and choosing not to do something is a choice in itself. Whatever you decide will then dictate what the likely dictate what the consequences are. And the results of what you do are never a foregone conclusion. If you say no, he might just say, well, okay, then, and walk off. If you fight back, you might get stabbed, but actually you might win and he might run away. So you don't know what the results are. You don't control them either. But what you do control is what you do about it. It's like someone I know has been diagnosed, or quite likely it seems, is going to be diagnosed with probably quite advanced throat cancer. Well, what she does next, you can argue the point of whose fault it is she's got it, because she's a smoker and a drinker and recreational drugs and she's obese and all the rest of it. So she's not done herself any favours if she's genetically predisposed to having cancer. But regardless of whose fault it is, she is where she is. Now, her choices are probably what? Have chemo, radiotherapy, and maybe live for 3 years, and it will be painful and unpleasant, and then die unpleasantly, or not do anything and maybe have 6 months to a year and die unpleasantly. That's a choice, and they are probably the only choices she's got. They're not great choices, and I hope I never have to make those same choices myself, but they're still choices. And what happens to her will likely be dictated by the choices she makes. And if we don't choose, because we're all going to die, that's not a choice. We all die at some point. The first thing you get when you're pushed out the fucking womb, or in fact, the first thing you get when you're conceived, is a death sentence. That's the first thing God gives you, Yeah, she is. And you don't choose how you die always. You can choose that, but if you just leave things to go their natural progression, you don't choose when you die, you don't choose how you die. But what you always choose is how you live. Every fucking minute of every fucking day, you're choosing how you live. And that's important. And it's really about the only choice you've got, because you don't choose your death, really. Not unless you fucking kill yourself or something. But you always choose from minute to minute, from day to day, how you live. And when you go onto LinkedIn or any other social media, whining about the government should do something to make my life more bearable, that's how you're living. Well, what a fucking shocking state of affairs that is. How fucking attractive is that? Go on Tinder with that as your profile. The government should do something to make my life better. Just see how much fanning you get doing that, guys.
We've spoken about this a lot as well, John. It's just people getting fixated on the problem rather than giving any energy towards a solution. All of their attention is on the problem, and because this is a national thing, they then don't even give any thought to what they're going to do, other than, oh, the government does something. If not, I'm not going to pay my bill.
I spoke to one of my mentoring girls yesterday. I'm not going to name her. I'll tell you it wasn't privately, you and me, because anyway. But she was saying she's feeling like shit over the summer because of some holidays and stuff. And also, she said, I spend too much time in a Facebook group. Well, it's a messaging group, Facebook messaging group of local women who are also business owners. And they're all complaining about the same things. What do I do? And I said, you know what I would do? I'd just stop reading the messages. Because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, what are her choices? Read the messages, feel like shit, remain silent. Read the messages, feel like shit, agree with them and feel even worse. Read the messages, feel like shit, and argue with these people. Well, good luck with that one. Or just don't read the messages and let them get on with it. Because all four of those will come to the same conclusion in the real world. The same manifestation in the real world will happen. As in, it won't change a fucking thing, whatever you do. All that will change will be in response to your actions, what you actually do in your part of the real world, what they do, what they say, what they think, and all that. But what might happen is if you start buying into their shit or arguing with them, you get yourself into such a state you won't do anything. So just leave it, let it go. Just fucking let these people moan. She said, well, she didn't say, but I mean, it was obvious she didn't want to leave the group because then people might think she's being snotty or whatever. So I said, just put it on mute. Just don't look at it. You don't have to.
Yeah, well, we don't have Facebook anyway.
Oh, that's another.
Just don't even log into Facebook.
I haven't got a Facebook account now. That's great. I've actually had a couple of people reach out to me on LinkedIn, friends from 20, 30 years ago, say, you okay? And I said, yeah, just connect with me here. Here's my email address. I'm just not on social media anymore. I've got no interest in it. Anyone who cares enough about me will track me down. That's fine. I don't want, I'm not being a martyr here. I just don't care enough. You mean to think about this, people? I haven't had a Facebook account. Well, I haven't logged in for 3 months, and I haven't had one for about 2 and a bit because they give you a 30-day cooling off period when you delete your account. I haven't been on Facebook for 3 months, and nothing has happened. You know, I haven't died. I haven't fucking. No, it doesn't matter. So when you log into Facebook, this little fucking sense of anxiety, I've not been on for a while. Have I missed something? Guess what? You haven't. You really fucking haven't. Anyone who cares enough about you to want you to know something will tell you. So, you know, in-laws getting married or whatever, I don't know. Like yesterday, Sarah became a great aunt. Her niece had a baby. I've been a great uncle for some time now, several years. Well, those things, guess what? People WhatsApp me or email me. And if they don't, they didn't want me to know, obviously, so that's fine. Or they didn't care enough about letting me know. Well, that's fucking equally acceptable to me, because I don't really give a shit, you know. Well, people...
Yeah, I haven't had...
People are so fucking wrapped up in this bizarre, to me, sense of what they call community. What they don't understand is it's not a sense of community at all. It's a bunch of individuals playing the big I am with each other and massaging their egos. That's what a community is, for the most part. There are very... I mean, don't get me wrong. There will
Facebook
be
groups, all of that shit.
There are very few people who actually treat a community as it was meant to be as we evolved, and that is where people cooperate and look after each other. Not many do. Most people, it's just grandstanding. They're there to they're not even there to be seen. They're there to be seen to be seen. All right.
I think we can safely surmise that the theme of this episode: people are useless, awful, lazy, pointless.
Yeah, they are. And if people think, oh, what's this got to do with business? Let me tell you right now. It means that if you want to succeed in business, it's really fucking easy. Just don't be like 99% of everyone else. And you can't be different from everyone else by being the same, doing the same shit, saying the same things, posting the same posts. You just can't, running your business the same way. I know it's fucking uncomfortable, but if you want to be different, you got to do things differently. You know, same shit, different arseholes with politicians, or same behaviours, same actions, broadly the same results with business. If you do the same shit, you get the same results. So politicians always do the same shit, so you get the same shit from them, no matter what fucking party they are. Well, same with businesses. If you do the same things as your competitors, look around. Well, where do I take my lead from? Let me look on LinkedIn. Well, this is what everyone's doing. Let's do that. Well, don't be surprised when you start finding yourself echoing their sentiments, because why would you expect different results? You've got nothing else different to talk about, because you're getting the same shit from your results, same city results, from the same actions, because you're taking your lead from stupid people.
So what should people do, John?
Listen to us.
And how can they do that?
Well, they can listen to this fucking podcast for a start regularly. And they can go to wellfedfreelancer.com and get the book. £5 fucking quid. Jesus fucking Christ.
What else do they get with the book? Because, you know, once they've read the book, how can they then even hear more of us?
Well, they get my daily emails. They get 8 other fucking massive free bonuses. Most amazing, unbelievable free gift ever. But they also get access to bronze membership of our fairly brand spanking new membership platform. It's not a Facebook group, it's our own, full of smart people saying smart things.
We own it.
We manage it. We own it.
We do what the fuck we want with it.
We do.
And on that note, I think it's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah. Good time to put the
all right,
condom on.
We'll see you tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. All right, see you tomorrow. wellfedfreelancer.com. Cheerio.
£5. You spend more in fucking Starbucks every day.